This is Nick Nielsen, Mad Scientist of Muscle, and what we've got for today here is a quick review of a foldable flat bench from Finer Form. That's the company that makes it. Now, what this bench does is basically, like it says, it folds up. The legs actually fold up underneath so you can actually slide it and store it, for example, under your bed if you're using it for home gym equipment. That's really the big draw of this one. This is not necessarily designed for commercial use, but it's very, very useful for home gym training where you have limited space. Now, I'll give you a close-up of the bench here. Now, as you can see, right here, this peg, pull it out for you here, you basically pull that out, slides right down. You do that on the other side, pull the pin out, slides right down. Now, this doesn't just fold down and hit loosely. There's actually another pin right here, so this is locked into position, so you're not going to accidentally loosen that up. And then to straighten it back out again and use it, pop the pin, unfold the bench. Now, it's a flat bench, but if you just fold up one side like this, you can technically use it on an incline/decline, like so. Fair warning, it's not designed for that, so this is just an out-of-the-box way that I've done to use it with. This is going to move a lot more freely, so you can use it that way at your own risk. Not recommended necessarily, but you might find that you do some incline or decline. I'd mostly say incline stuff on that. For example, if you push that up against something solid and you wanted to do a slight incline bench press, there you have a slight incline bench press with your feet on the floor. However, know that this could slide around a little bit depending on the surface that's here. Now, very light. This thing probably weighs about 20 pounds, so it's not heavy at all. Very easy for just about anybody to use. Literally, that's all there is to it. Now, durability and strength. Is this thing going to be strong enough to take a heavy load? And I would say absolutely. I haven't, set 1,000 pounds on everything. It's rated to 1,000 pounds. But everything I've used it for, bench press, box squats, bench squats, this absolutely takes whatever load I put on it. Now, to stand on it, I don't know if that's the best measure of strength, but it doesn't move. It's rock solid to me. Like I said, I've done heavy bench press on it. I've done box squats where I load like 400 pounds on my back, and I sit down and do a box squat like that. Never any doubt that this thing is going to hold up. The padding is nice and firm, but soft enough that you're not going to sink. That's not uncomfortable like a 2x4 or anything like that. So, very good for that. It is a little bit wider than I'm used to on my other flat bench, but I don't find that to be an issue as well. It might actually be better depending on what you're using it for. Now, are there any downsides to this bench? And honestly, there are. Nothing tremendously bad or anything. One thing you do need to be aware of is that because it is so light, if you're using it for something like a Bulgarian split squat, for example, when you're coming down here, this could shift around a little bit more easily than a bench that is heavier. But that's, to be quite honest, really the only downside I've found with this is that because it's designed to be portable and easy to use, it is a bit lighter and I'm not going to say unstable, but because it can shift around a little bit more depending on the exercise you're doing, it is something to be aware of. Not something that I find to be terribly negative about it. So I wouldn't let that stop you from getting one of these. This is a very solid bench. It does grip nicely, and I find actually, because this is a little bit lower down than my regular flat bench, I actually find it even more useful for doing bench pressing on. The height of my other bench makes me lie back, and I actually have to put my feet on top of the bench feet in order to get a good leg drive. What I do with this one, I can actually put them on the floor and get a good leg drive still. So for bench press, I actually find this lower down bench even more useful than the regular bench I've been using for like 15 years. So some very, very good points about this one. Like I said, it is designed to be portable, and the legs fold up, which is the main basically feature of this one. and slide in and slide out of the way. An ideal piece of home gym equipment does have one small negative in terms of how much weight, not how much weight it can support, but how much weight it actually weighs. So there are some tendencies for it to shift around if you're not careful, but I don't find that to be a real issue at all as long as you're aware of it. So again, this is the flat bench, the foldable flat bench from Finer Form. I really like this piece of equipment and something I would definitely recommend.